I don't know how to feel about this episode, honestly. Like, where are we going next? But yo, let's get into the review. Alright, let's start from the beginning. So, for one, Joe got a lot of respect, man. He got a lot of notoriety now, man. Like, it starts off with the girl getting a tattoo of Joe on like the side of her hip or ankle. Well, not ankle, but the side of her hip. And man, that just shows how much Joe has come up in the world. He's on posters, he's spray painted on walls, he's on magazines. He's the talk of the town. Last episode, we got a taste of how popular Joe's gotten. Now it's really starting to show that Gearless Joe has truly spread everywhere. Even when they spoke of the people that were most likely to make it in Megalonia being Sugar R. Heel and Mikio, which I will discuss in a second. Like they even said, hey, you know, these two are gonna fight, but yo, what about Gearless Joe? Even though the professional realm doesn't take him too seriously, because Joe's only, what, 4-0? It's crazy to see Nambu's plan is actually working, that Joe is 4-0 and only needs one more fight to actually make it into Megalonia. But here's the thing, I noticed that the only people that were actually celebrating Joe were the ones that were in the slums. Do you think that Joe is remembered there? Like, he's obviously going to be recognized by a few people there, or those that saw him on underground fights. But do you think that most people in the slums like, hey, that was actually Junk Dog and he made it. Let's get a tattoo, let's spread his name, or let's throw posters everywhere? Or are they just saying like, hey, Gearless Joe is hype. Like, this is extremely cool. Like, you know, let's spread the word, you know? Because even he was in the last episode, Joe was actually pretty popular even in the city. When they announced the Bloody Lion guy, the third fighter of Megalonia, they were saying, hey, will Gearless Joe be making it down? From a news reporter. So maybe Joe's name is just spreading all throughout the land, you know? But now we got a new problem. We saw that Mikio, which is actually President Shirata's brother, has a special type of gear that has AI into it. I didn't expect AI to become a thing in this anime. But, I mean, it's technology. But basically, according to Sachio, it calculates what's the best offensive and defensive route to take. So it's saying, okay, if you swerve left, you'll take less damage, but you'll do more damage to the guy. He took Sugar R. Heel out immediately. It was a pretty quick one. I think it was in 2 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. So that was cool. That's a new threat and a new problem that Joe will have to face. Maybe. So here's something interesting. I was thinking that this AI was so important or so unbeatable that Joe wouldn't stand a chance. I mean, of course, he's going to find a way, anime, but I think most people, just like Sugar R. Heel, wouldn't be able to handle this AI. I don't know if you all caught this, but when the 2 announcers were speaking about Sugar R. Heel versus Mikio or Mikio, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, they actually covered up Mikio's record. And they covered up the amount of wins he has. They've shown the other 2 factors. One being how many losses he had. The other, I'm guessing, either ties or... I don't know what the third one is. Someone let me know in the comment section. I don't know, but it was like blank, 2 and 5. So that lets me know, unless this man perfected the AI recently, he has lost to 2 other fighters. And those 2 other fighters didn't have AI. So since that means he lost to 2 people, that means that Joe actually does stand a chance against him. I think in regards to AI, there's going to be a flaw, there's going to be something that we can exploit, and the person I believe that's going to figure it out is not Joe, it's not Nambu, hands down it's going to be Sachio. We've seen that Sachio is good with technology. From the earlier episodes, we saw that Sachio was able to predict that the gears were kind of off balance on Pokin, if I'm not mistaken, or the big guy that, you know, that when Sachio stole the gear from them, he tried to hurt him. Whoever that guy was. Not important. But the fact is, Sachio really knows gears, he knows technology. I wonder if he'll be able to find an exploit to actually defeat Mikio. Another important thing, this episode showed us a taste of the background between President Shirata, I forget her name, someone let me know, and Mikio, saying that she currently is the president of the company, she got it from her grandfather, and that Mikio wants ownership. I believe that Mikio wants to win Megalonia using his AI gear and make everybody have AI gear. That's his plan. Really, he wants to have, from what I'm understanding or what I'm predicting, he wants to have control of the company. That's a given. He wants to get back at his sister. For whatever reason, the grandfather was like, the current President Shirata girl, is the owner, that I choose her. Or maybe she's the older sister. I don't know if they're older brother or older sister. I don't know who's older. I'm assuming her since it was given to her. But he wants to win Megalonia, and he wants to be the one in control of the company. So he spoke on Mikio and how he wants control of the company, and his method of going about that is to win Megalonia. So let's speak a little bit more about President Shirato. Her name is Yukiko, right? So Yukiko honestly believed that Sugar Eye Hill could beat her brother. Even one of her, we'll say secretaries in this case, were kind of like, hey, you know, his gear actually improved. And later in the episode, we see that Mikio has even more AI gear made to defeat the champion, being Yuri. So it's interesting to see Yukio actually worried about this. Like, she's gonna lose the company. They highlighted and touched on it just a little bit, but what do you all think that Yukio's plan actually is? Like, when she was talking to her secretary, she was talking about how Yukio, does he know our plan? Does he know what we're planning? See, I believe she said she thinks not. Another thing is, like, we'll go back to episode 1 to where Yuri and Yukiko were talking. They were talking about how this would make their dream come true. Honestly, I'm pretty sure it's not Yuri's dream. We'll talk on him in a second. But Yukiko's like, this will make our dream. What is her dream? My prediction is, by her winning with this new gear or whatever, President, or at least the Shirato Corporation, will have control over all gears. Maybe there's different brands of gears. Like, we've seen all kinds of different ones. We've seen the cheap one Joe wore. We've seen the guy from episode, 2 or 3 that had, like, the tough gear. We've seen all different designs and stuff. I think she wants to get a monopoly on gears and say, hey, this is the best gear to use. There's no lag. The champion uses it. They'll sell it everywhere. They'll spread Megalo Boxing all around the world. Call it ambitious, but I can see that happening. And her brand of Shirato gear will be the thing that sells everywhere. Another thing is, another type of Shirato gear was made by Mikio. And Mikio might be like, you know, maybe we don't need that weak kind of gear. Like, let's use AI for everybody. Everybody's viable. I think they want to get that monopoly. And here's the thing I did realize from this, is that if she wants to get Yuri to win with the best gear and sell it, if Joe defeats Yuri, then why have Megalo Boxing when boxing gearless is better? You know what I mean? That would make Megalo Boxing still be popular and crazy and hype. But I feel like if Joe wins, we're going to have what we have today. We're going to have standard boxing, no gear, who really needs it? I think Joe's a huge threat to her dream. She's kind of not saying it, but I think that's a huge thing. She wants to win, spread the gear, and Yuri is the tool that she's going to use that she believes will never be defeated. He'll never be defeated. It goes without saying, we got to talk about Joe. Yo, I've been saying that Joe will not die in the series, and each episode's talking about death and not dead yet and stuff. Joe's peeing blood. That is kind of, I mean, that's a sign to say, okay, something's wrong. I know he was bruised up and beaten up from Aragaki's and recovering, but Joe is actually pretty hurt. I don't know if he's gonna die or not. I think he actually might after becoming champion, if he becomes champion even so. When you think about it, remember this. I believe that the Mafia boss told Nambu that them making the Megalonia would be good enough for them. So, like, Nambu's goal, make it to Megalonia. Joe's goal, win Megalonia. Like, you know, to get off the hook, all they gotta do is make it. You know, we don't necessarily have to have a happy ending anime to where Joe actually wins. I mean, it would be preferred and ideal, but do you think he's actually going to win or even survive for that matter? I don't know. So through this episode, Joe gets a bit of training, he gets some rest, and he gets blackmailed. So don't forget at the end, Mikio actually went up to Joe, you know, they're getting up to the battle. They were getting ready to fight in the ring. It's that time, and he says, you know, like, I know who you are, you're from the slums, you got a fake citizen ID. Basically, all the dirt about Joe and all the things that they did to actually get in Megalonia. And if he steps into that ring, he'll expose it all. Now, you can see that Nambu honestly couldn't afford that. Like, that would get them in jail, and that'd be even worse and kill their hype. So, Joe obviously still wanted to fight it out right there. Nambu knocked him out, and they didn't show up to the ring. And that's a loss. What do you all think will happen next? Me, personally, I believe that a couple things can happen. One, the unlikely outcome, I believe President Shirato, Yukiko, actually will help Joe for the first time in the series. I remember initially she gave Joe the card that he rejected, Maybe they'll call the number. Maybe they'll reach out to her and just say, hey, we need to do this battle against Mikey-O. We want to make it into Megalonia. We believe that we can actually beat Mikey-O and his AI, and we have a plan. So one, she might actually go through and help them. I think it's unlikely, but if things go through and Joe actually doesn't get a chance to fight Mikey-O, then Mikey-O's definitely in Megalonia, and I don't see that being the outcome. Joe's definitely going to fight him. 2, now I got to explain a little bit more about this one. It's actually Sachio. We've had background on Nambu. We haven't had background on Yuri yet. We've had background on Yukiko and Mikey-O being her brother. We haven't had Joe's background yet. I doubt we're going to get a background to Joe in this series. We might near the end. We'll see. But I believe the next episode will be about Sachio. And let me tell you why. In the episode, Sachio takes off his hat, looks at it, and it's his mom and dad. He's like, Mom and Dad, I finally have somebody who needs me, who needs my help, right? So that suggests a few things. 1, Sachio's parents are alive. He was telling them not to worry in this hat, right? 2, his parents most likely does not have any idea where they're at. So that means through this series, his parents are going to find him. 3, right after that scene, shortly after, they showed Nambu and Sachio in the newspaper. So why would they highlight Sachio saying, you know, don't worry about my parents, I'm fine here, they need my help, then show him in the newspaper? His parents must have been looking for him and worried about him. And when they, as popular as Gearless Joe is and having him on the squad, Sachio is going to get found through the paper. His parents are going to find them. They're going to come to the tournament of Megalo Boxing or the city in search of him, and they're going to find Sachio. And to make 2 for my predictions, the parents are somehow going to be affiliated, whether the dad's an engineer, deals with Megalo Boxing. For whatever reason, he's going to help Joe somehow actually get a fight between Mikey-O through some connections, through whatever. That's what I really believe that scene was for, because it just seemed like, why are we talking about this now? If they're going to touch on a little bit of Sachio and his parents, which I assume were dead, honestly, then they're obviously about to clarify it in the next episode or episode 9. That's what I believe. And 3, I guess the more likely outcome, maybe that guy Nambu was talking to earlier will set up something between them. You know, maybe they'll set up a fight. I really don't know. Maybe they'll come up with a huge excuse saying, you know, Joe was sick, he couldn't show up. I don't know, but the biggest issue is the dude has blackmail on them and they can't participate. But what's good about this and the fact that the fight didn't happen is the fact that Joe has more time to not only train but to rest, because that with those bruises and the blood thing, that was quite a lot. So we're gonna kind of see where they're gonna go from there, and those are the things that stood out most to me. But let me know if you all saw anything, symbolism, cool scenes, thoughts, and mostly predictions as to what do you all think will happen next. With that being said, that's a review. If you enjoyed it, do like the video. Give me some feedback. I don't know where we're going next. We finally caught up on the episodes, and I believe the new one comes out tomorrow. So we'll get a video up for that soon. And yo, with that being said, thanks for tuning in to another review. Have a good evening, and yo, I can't wait for the next episode. But yo, see you later, guys. Have a good night.